Has anyone seen Bennie? That's the story today, and what an adventure we will have. Please join me in trying to find out what happened to Bennie. It was a beautiful sunny day at Pismo Beach, and Bennie was anxious to go out and explore exciting adventures in his new home by the sea. The waves were slapping at the sand as he scurried along the beach, trying to avoid the seaweed that had washed ashore the day before. The sand was hot, and his paws were burning a little as he moved away from the water and onto drier land. He loved the feeling to run and play without his leash holding him back. Joey, his owner and good friend, was running close behind, trying to keep up with this curious little pup. "Bennie," Joey hollered, "wait for me." He scampered up a big sand dune and saw a huge grassy clearing on the other side. The clearing was filled with tents, campers, picnickers, enjoying the great weather and cool sea air. As he ran through the campground, everyone stopped what they were doing to watch Bennie. He had short, stubby legs that made it difficult to navigate through the campsites. His ears were flopping, and his long hair was blowing in the wind as he ran along. "Hello, little one," they hollered. "You're such a cutie." He joyfully ran up to them and said hello, as only a puppy can, licking their hands with his long pink tongue. Joey was not far behind. He was holding Bennie's leash in his hand as he desperately tried to catch up with him. Bennie was much too fast as he continued to follow a path that disappeared into the forest of eucalyptus trees. His paws left a trail in the dirt, but the blowing leaves on the forest floor soon covered any traces he may have left. Bennie stopped to gaze up in wonder as the leaves high up in the treetops shimmered in the bright sun. What he saw was a sight to behold. Thousands of butterflies forming clusters high in the trees, clinging to the leaves and branches. It was just such a marvelous thing for Bennie to see. Can you imagine that? They were there resting after their annual migration from west to the Rocky Mountains, hundreds of miles away. Bennie had come upon the famous monarch butterfly grove at Pismo Beach. Just as Joey was catching up with him, he called out, "Bennie, stop! Bennie, stop!" Just then, a train approached the nearby Grover Beach station. The train announced its arrival with a few blasts from its horn. The loud noise startled Bennie. He had never heard a train horn before, and he panicked. He couldn't hear Joey calling after him, so off he ran, unfortunately in the wrong direction. Joey yelled, "Bennie, no! Bennie, no!" Tears welled up in his eyes. Joey knew that there could be danger for such a little pup out in the strange big world. At this very moment, Bennie didn't know that his real adventure was about to begin. Bennie ran and he ran as far away from the train noise as he could. He soon came across a rickety old wooden bridge that crossed a backwater lagoon. Do you know what a lagoon is? As he crossed the old bridge, he could see that the lagoon was filled with strange-looking birds and other creatures. Ooh! Some of the birds were large, brown, and white with long bills that had a pouch underneath. They must be pelicans. Others were smaller and paddled around the water looking for food. They might have been ducks or geese. As he got closer, Bennie could see something swimming in the water. Was it a salmon migrating upstream after a long time in the deep blue sea? Or was it a bunch of clams struggling their way back down to the ocean to burrow in the sand? Perhaps it was a large shark that was lost trying to return to the ocean. Was the shark lost, just like Bennie? Nearby, a cluster of turtles basked on the warm rocks. Oh, I would love to be just basking on warm rocks today, down by the ocean, wouldn't you? And squirrels darted playfully between reeds, chattering to each other. Can you just see that? Chat, 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 chat. What's a squirrel make? What kind of a sound does a squirrel make? Frogs croaked rhythmically. Do you know what rhythmically means? And dragonflies zipped above the surface, their wings shimmering like tiny jewels. Oh, I bet that was stunning. It was a lively scene, full of sounds and movement, and Bennie felt a momentary sense of wonder at all the life bustling around him. There were way too many creatures he didn't know about in the lagoon, so Bennie continued his adventure. Bennie was getting very tired and hungry when he smelled something wonderful drifting through the air. So off he went, following his nose into the little town of Pismo Beach, searching for that yummy smell. Was it a hot dog or hamburger being cooked at a nearby restaurant? So many people were crowded on the sidewalk. He had to be careful where he walked. He was just a little pup, you know. He saw a young boy eating a hot dog with mustard and ketchup dripping down his chin. What a mess. Yummy. And a man in a bathing suit, still wet from the beach, eating a chocolate ice cream cone. Bennie looked in the window of a restaurant and watched the people eating a thick, creamy soup out of big, round loaves of bread. It must have been the clam chowder in sourdough bread that was famous in Pismo Beach. Bennie had seen Joey eat clam chowder out of a big, round sourdough bread many times and knew it must have been good. Oh, how he wished he could have some right now. He thought of Joey and how he must be looking for him. Suddenly he was very homesick and wanted his adventure to be over. It had been a long day of traveling, and the sun was getting low in the sky, and Bennie's little legs were getting so tired. It seemed like miles from the beach and the monarch butterfly grove where his adventure began. People had been so kind to him all along the way. He had made so many friends and seen so many strange animals and other critters. He had been on a real adventure. Meanwhile, Joey had been looking for Bennie for hours. The campers he had met earlier were trying to help find Bennie as well. Someone even made a flyer with his picture on it and passed it around. Even the Pismo Beach police helped out. People walking on the pier and around town shared the information. Have you seen Bennie? Some restaurant owners and staff said they had seen him earlier and thought he looked lost and hungry. They had offered him fish and chip leftovers and some of their clam chowder. At the time, Bennie wasn't really interested in that anymore. All he wanted to do was to be with Joey and go home where he felt safe, cuddly, and warm. Soon he came upon a beautiful grassy area and heard children laughing and playing. He found himself at Dinosaur Caves Park. Whoa, doesn't that look neat? Look at that dinosaur thing to play on. Wow. It was getting colder as he lay on the grass, trying to catch the last of the warm sun as it was setting. He felt comforted, seeing children playing on the swings and climbing on all the playground equipment. They seemed familiar. Had he seen them before? A little girl came running by and saw that he was all alone and looking sad. She stopped and bent down to pet him. He looked like he needed a friend. She called her older brother over, and he immediately recognized the puppy. It was Bennie. He belonged to a neighbor that lived just across the street from them. He was quite surprised to see Bennie there all by himself. He didn't think Joey would ever let him be alone. He swooped Bennie up in his arms, petting him and talking to him softly. "Hi there, Bennie. Are you lost?" The kids ran to their mom. She immediately knew what to do. Off they went to return Bennie back home and into the safe arms of Joey. Joey was so excited to see Bennie as tears fell from his eyes. Smiles were shared by all. What an adventure they had! Bennie became a celebrity in his hometown of Pismo Beach. This little dog brought people together in a very special way. People, animals, and critters alike became friends and showed empathy for Bennie as he searched for Joey. There's that word, empathy. Find out what that means. What a wonderful adventure for all. I wonder what adventure Bennie will have next. Would you like to go on an adventure with him? Where would you go? Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed my little story. Hit the like button and give it a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And please come see Adventures with Gramma Bonnie soon. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.